I love how the world works sometimes, how, you meet one person and then they introduce you to another, and then it's like a domino effect. And it's not, it happens magically in a way. You meet the right people at the right time. And I, I was introduced to this wonderful animator, singer, um, creator, and he's with us here today. He's worked on The Lord of the Rings. He's worked on Hanna-Barbera's Smurfs and Super Friends, MTV Liquid Television. He has so many different wonderful projects that I could list, but we'll find out more about them here, including Hell to Pay. So let's get it on. Here he is, Gene Hamm. Gene.
Hi, how are you, David?
Oh, I'm wonderful. So glad to have you on. I know we talked about it for a while now, so here it is.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. You have a great show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love getting, messages from you, and it's very uplifting to hear that, someone who I didn't really know just connected with me. And I mean, it's so good to connect and create together.
Yeah, well, how I heard about it was I'm friends with Julie Newmar, and she told me about it because you did a great interview with her, and she told me about it. Basically, how I met her. I met her way back in the '80s once at the what's the Barnesville Park. At Barnesville Park, they have a big gallery and stuff. And I was standing there looking at this installation, and over in the corner of my eye, I saw some movement, and here she was in a room, all nobody but her and John, her toddler, and she was laying there, sitting there on the floor with her legs like that, and he's up there playing with her hair, and basically up until then, I was just always struck with her by from seeing her Little Abner and she played this guy that stunned people in the Sadie Hawkins and then Catwoman, and so all I knew of her was this sexy woman. But I'm looking over here and she's just a wonderful mother, and that you don't see that on screen, but so I remembered that years later. I worked at Alchemia, this organization for special needs adults, and I was making a documentary about them, and I thought, I wonder if I could get her to narrate it, and then I thought, I wonder if she's on Facebook, and yes, she was on Facebook, and then I thought, well, couldn't be her. It's got to be some publicist doing all that, but I messaged her. I sent her some of our films, and she's got a hell of a good sense of humor, and and loved the films, and then called me up one time and had me do a little piece of animation on her website, and traded me to do narration for the film.
Well, that animation, I was watching it again today. I had seen it before. It's marvelous. I mean, to have a combination, there's Julie and her pictures in her clown outfit and makeup, and then your animation with butterflies, and it was like, I could watch this over and over. It's so delightful.
The funny thing was, I came up with a bunch of gags. There's one, remember, you see that, the gag where she gets clobbered on the head? That was her gag. She loves slapstick.
I tell you, what an amazing woman she is. I mean, like you, I knew her when she was in Batman. I mean, I grew up, I had a crush on her.
Yeah, me too.
And I wanted to be one of her henchmen when I was when I was 5 years old, and so and then
to be perfectly honest, I always liked the villains better than I like Batman.
I know, right? Oh my God. And then to finally connect with her. And like you said, what a joy that was to interview her and to meet her in person. It's just, it was really, yeah. So, and shows you too, like for you, you said, is that Julie Newmar, blah, 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 and you took the step-by-step process, and now she's a part of your film.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to ask about one more question, but I know you have one of your students coming on, and then Performing Arts Studio West has a few that will love to learn from you. So
Yeah. Can I show you one film that when I first got to Alchemia, the thing I'd never been around people with special needs, but I wanted I was wanted to be a teacher there, but the thing that impressed me when I first got there was there's all these people. I'm around people that are complaining all the time. They got nothing to complain about. And when I met these people, they've got all kinds of obstacles in their life, and they're not complaining, and it was just so refreshing. And so, but I had to go on a learning curve because I went through an evolution of finding out what I could do with them. And at the beginning, I thought they had a short attention span. Turned out I was wrong. Uh, so we would always try to get a film done that same day before the buses came. And so in the early days, we'd figure out something we could figure out in the morning and get it done by the end of the day. And so here's one of this is actually the film that I sent to Julie Newmar that made her laugh. Let me share screen here so you can see it. So let me get over here. And it's called Parking. And I play the villain here.
You're not handicapped. You can't park here.
Yeah? What are you gonna do about it? Oh, you shattered my knee. I'll never walk again.
You can't walk? Oh. You can't park here.
well, that'll show you for parking in a handicap place.
Yeah. Every once in a while, we got people in wheelchairs, and that's the film they like. I think they wanted to do that for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing that I love what you do is you do animation, you do live action, and you have this amazing school. And tell what you mentioned, Alchemia. Tell us about Alchemia.
Well, Alchemia is a day program for the arts up in Northern California. We were in a couple places, Santa Rosa and Marin, and they teach people how to paint, and they do put on shows, a lot of singing and dancing and stuff. And the cool thing was that I know a lot of special needs programs got closed during the pandemic, but they were smart enough that the bosses, they figured out Zoom real fast, and we've been working since March on Zoom, and then keeping everybody interested and coming up with new classes and stuff that work on Zoom, and so it's pretty cool place.
Yeah, well, I mean, from looking at your website and your films, I mean, it's really It's wonderful what you're doing, and it's God, it's so smart that, you know, we just jump on. It's like, okay, what's the next thing? What do we have to do to keep going? So
Yeah, the one approach I do, there's two things that I do that I think a lot of I call it the I Spy approach. Back in the 60s, there was two TV shows about race in the 60s. On the same season, there was a I Spy and there's Outsiders. Outsiders was a Western with two bounty hunters, one white and one black, one former slave, another former slave owner. And they were fighting all the whole hour. And then finally, in the last 5 minutes, they always get, it's like the Defiant ones out west. They in the last 5 minutes, they get together and then fight the bad guys. And then they'd be arguing off as they rode off. And so they were just talking about race all the time and just in your face all the time. That show lasted 3 months. So I Spy, they had a black spy and a white spy. And they never mentioned race. They were just buddies, and they went all around the world having adventures, and it just made it, it was a given, So I think,
and I loved seeing that in Mad Magazine all the time. I used to get it all the time, and I loved I Spy, and I felt the same way. It's like these are two buddies. I just, yeah. I'm baffled. Sometimes I feel like I'm from another planet.
Well, so this is what I do. When we do our film, this film you saw is the only film we've done where we mention a handicap. Everything else we don't mention it. It's so it's just a given that anybody can do anything.
Right.
And the other thing about that I've learned really quick was which bothers me is a lot of times I run into some of our students still can't read because they got shafted in school. But all through their lives, nobody expected anything of them, and I expect a lot. And the thing is that because I expect a lot, they deliver,
right?
And then they're happy if somebody actually expected something out of them.
Well, it's so the way when I teach actors, I teach entertainers, I teach creative artists. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
We have some people here in the waiting room, and I think I'll bring them on, bring all of them on.
Okay.
There we go. And I know you have one of your students here too. Let's see what we have here. We have Kevin Ewing. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Good.
And good. Lucas Selesky. There is Devon Morgan.
Yep. That's me.
Matthew Selden.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Jared will be here.
Yes. Austin Vance.
Hey.
And then Matthew Payne. Very nice. Everyone, this is Gene Hamm.
Hi, Gene Hamm.
Hi, Gene Hamm.
Hello, Gene Hamm.
How are you? Good to see you.
Well, Gene is an amazing teacher, instructor. He has this wonderful place, Alchemia, where he makes animation and in fact, the question that I have, and I know everybody has questions. Tell us about your background.
Well, my background, my first job was in 1978 on, am I still sharing screen or am I off?
Oh, you're off sharing screen right now.
Oh, well, good. So I'm not messing anything up. Yeah, my first job was on Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings in 1978. Then that got me in the union, and I went around to all the different studios like Hanna-Barbera and worked on the Smurfs and Super Friends. And then I went doing a bunch of, in the 80s I did a lot of music videos. Then I came up here to the Bay Area to work on Gumby for 2 years. And
Gumby! I still have my little Gumby doll.
Yeah, and then I stayed up here, and then I became a teacher Academy of Art and the University in San Francisco, teaching animation.
Yeah.
And I'm working on my own films too right now.
Right. Right.
Nice.
So you know, I'm going to throw out some questions as we talk, but I know that some of the students have it too. So why don't we start with Matthew Selden, if you have a question.
All right, so I have a question to make.
Yeah.
So you know I'm an animator too.
Cool.
I know I've seen your video called Cartoon Cavalcade. Yeah, I know some of the things are really funny.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Here's
they
the
under-
one
all the
question.
voices. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Do you know how long you make the cartoons for?
Oh, how long does it take to make them?
Yeah.
Well, they have different lengths. Some. Did you see Bubbles Troubles? That was part of. That might not have been the one you saw. Yeah, you might have seen the newer ones. Yeah. Those the newer ones they take about a couple of weeks, and so I have different people. We have classes like every day, and then so everybody does a little bit on it, and we record the voices first, and then we do scenes. So we crank them out usually. I think the fastest we ever cranked one out was in a week, and probably usually 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes 3 weeks for those little shorts, are about a couple minutes long. The funny thing is, when I first worked there, I think everybody was thinking that if you see a 30-second commercial, it took 30 seconds to do it, and and so we actually we did a film called Bubbles Troubles that I can show you today. It's 7 minutes long, and that one took us 7 minutes or 7 months to do it.
Wow.
And so I wanted to get to know how much work it takes to do it, and they pulled it off, and they're really proud of themselves.
Wow. Now, how many people worked on this?
Oh, probably we kind of rotated because I didn't want to like just do it once a week, or we'd be doing it for the next 10 years. So every time they came in, so we probably had about half a dozen to a dozen people worked on it. Some people did voices, and some people did. Here's what we first did. At first, I'll show you a picture here in a second. At first, I think the stuff you saw is our latest stuff. The one that we won back in New York, we won a film festival for best animation, and originally I was kind of I was treating it kind of like they do in Japan, where they have like an apprenticeship. So I was doing a lot of the drawing and having them. They're cutting it. They're learning how to edit, and they're knowing where to cut and paste, and they're getting pretty good editors. So I was showing them how to do stuff, and then Jared actually he did some backgrounds on there. But let me show you. Here's the thing that changed, and I'll change the. Let me. Let me get back in here again. Here we go. Can you see me? Can you see that picture there?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
This is this picture. I had a guy in the class named Paul Kenna, and he had cerebral palsy, and but he had this rod. He had a headband, and he had a rod, and he would go like this on his computer and communicate and stuff. He drew this thing. I showed him. We got a program called Flash, and now they call it Adobe Animate. And I showed him how to just draw straight lines on his computer, and then you could bend them. So each one of those things is a straight line that was bent into the shape. And he just worked on that, I think, for about 2 or 3 straight days. And
I
he
love
just,
how the hair is, it has the blue highlights.
yeah, and the guy didn't quit. And so the thing is, every once in a while, I get some student says, I can't draw. And I said, hey, this guy's drawing with his head. What's your excuse? So I'm amazed what people can pull off when they really want to.
Mm. I love that drawing.
Yeah.
Drawing. Now, did you? We could show that film now, or we could go to a couple more questions.
Yeah. You want questions, or you want to see one of the films?
What do you all think?
I
think we should see one of them.
Okay.
Let me
I'd
show
like
you.
to see the film.
So you want to see the one that was a transition, Bubbles Troubles?
Yeah.
That was
Oh yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
I was teaching 3 classes. One was a voice class, and then I was teaching a screenwriting class, and then teaching a animation class. And one of the troubles I had was that when I tried to get was trying to get original ideas, because I don't want us to get in trouble with any copyrights. So I asked this one girl named Sophia, and I sent you either pictures or you can see her anyway. So I asked her what her favorite movie was, and she said it was Beverly Hills Chihuahua. And so I said, and she wanted to do a film like Beverly Hills Chihuahua. And I said, well, we're going to have to come up with something a little different so Disney doesn't come after us. And he says, what's your other, you have a second favorite movie? He says, Marmaduke. Says, okay, so you like movies about dogs. And so there's Big Dog and Little Dog. Are they friends? Yeah, they're friends. Well, we haven't got a story. It's going to be real short if they don't have any conflict. And I said, what about if you got a big dog is bullying the little dog, and the big dog friend helps him figure out how to defend himself? Okay. And so she writes that thing. And I said, you want to have something at stake, when you're writing a story? And I said, so why is the big dog going after the little dog? He wants his diamond collar. And I said, diamond collar? This little dog's rich? I don't like this dog. And so we figured out, she helped me figure out that instead of a diamond collar, he had a wedding ring on his collar, the wedding ring of her dead husband, who used to feed the dog. So and they gave it a little lump in the throat. So here, I'll show you Bubbles Troubles here. Let me get the thingy. That's the technical term here.
Thingy.
You like another piece of hand, Bubbles? We both miss them, don't we, Bubbles? Do you want to go outside?
Why are you sticking your head in my doghouse and interrupting my nap?
I'm looking for a chihuahua.
There's no chihuahua in here.
Oh, my mistake.
Why is my bill loopy?
Hey, cut it out! That hurt!
You do you.
I'm hiding from that big mean dog! Can I stay here?
Okay, but don't interrupt my nap.
Look world is such a tiny thing. Makes such a big noise. Does he always chase you?
Yes, every day.
What are you gonna do about it?
I thought you could protect me.
I could be everywhere.
You can't help me.
I can help you yourself.
What?
I'm gonna teach you how to fight.
What do I do?
Try to run around behind me and bite me on the heel.
Okay. Hey, hold still.
Diablo will be holding still. You won't be expecting that. Let Diablo do his own fighting. You two stay out of this. You're all right, pup.
Okay. Jared's here. Can you?
Oh, so good.
Jared did the background on the thing where the rolling over.
Oh, my camera.
Oh, cool. And Jared is here. He just joined us now. And
Yeah.
uh,
Jared.
first of all, I have to say, I loved how, I mean, I was so involved with it. The story was so great. I was like, and the way you came up so close with like the bad dog, you know, it got close. It was like, yeah, you know, it was like, oh, I'm like, it was great.
We had trouble with that. We played that in the Los Angeles International Children's Film Festival, and the little kid had to be taken out of the. He was crying from that shot. I didn't mean to scare a little kid.
Well, that's what it. There he is. There's Mr. Jared.
Oh, there's Jared. Hi, Jared.
Hey, you guys, calling late. I had trouble getting in. I had trouble getting in.
Well, it happens where you know.
Jared's
But,
my right-hand man.
He came actually at the perfect time. Perfect time. We have some. Now you work with Gene, yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is wonderful at Alchemia. We have students from Performing Arts Studio West here. We have Austin Vance, Matthew Selden, Devon Morgan,
Yeah.
Lucas Zaleski,
Right here.
Matthew Payne, and then we have Kevin Ewan from the Born Tack Players.
Yep.
So we're all hanging out. We're like connecting families here today.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, why don't
Jared did a voice on the next film.
Oh, he did a voice on the. Oh, what's the next film?
This one's called Courting Disaster.
Order in the court. Is the state ready to call its first witness?
The state calls Sergeant Watson to the stand.
Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. And now pronounce you man and wife. Take a seat.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
I object, Your Honor. That's hearsay. How can we know what the chicken was thinking?
Sustained.
Let me rephrase the question. Why did the fireman wear red suspenders?
I object, Your Honor. That's hearsay. The witness couldn't know what the fireman is thinking.
Sustained.
I will try another line of questioning. What has 4 wheels and flies?
I object. He's leading the witness.
Objection! He called me a guy.
Overruled.
I can miss. I can break. Get it through. You know, I'm thinking.
Oh, this is great.
That was so good.
There's a,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I showed you the pictures of that Paul Kenna did. So after that, then I wasn't doing the drawings anymore. They're doing all the drawings.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do anything.
This is great. Hey, Lucas, what do you have a question for Gene?
I do. Why don't you do animation anymore, Jeannie?
I do. I still do animation. I do freelance animation, and I'm actually working on my own film. I have a graphic novel that's on Amazon called Hell to Pay.
We'll have to hook you up with Spectrum Laboratories animation class like next year.
Oh, cool.
I'm from Spectrum Laboratory, and so is Austin Vance.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff. It's good stuff you guys do.
And
I'm a multi-recording artist.
Cool.
Yes,
Very
he
cool.
does some wonderful songs and records a lot. And Gene, you sing as well, and you write music for films.
Yeah, well, right now I put all the music into these things, and well, Hell to Pay, I'm doing all the mood music in it, and I've got I'm gonna have a song at the end credits. Yeah, Hell to Pay is it was a graphic novel I did, and then I've got a distributor down in LA that wants to look at it. He said what he saw before of it. He said it's marketable, but it needed to be 70 minutes long, so I expanded the thing, and actually I was worried I was going to water it down, but actually it's making it better. So right now I'm at 64 minutes on it, so I think I'm going to get it done by the end of the year.
Well, what I love about it too is the way Hell to Pay, you think of it when you hear it as Hell to Pay, like,
yeah.
But the way
the plot. Oh, yeah, the plot is it's about the world's first genetically engineered living toupee, and there's only the female barber can save the world when the killer toupees escape from the lab.
Oh my God! I love. This is the one thing that I love about your work. You think out of the box.